The Knicks postgame show is presented by Tri-State Audi. Visit your Tri-State area Audi dealer today. Quentin Grimes, a career-high 33. Knicks up by 9 with 33 seconds to go. Luka Doncic made one, missed a second. This is to force overtime, and he makes it to force OT with about a second to go. And then in the overtime, it's Doncic. He had 60 points, 21 rebounds, 10 assists, tied for the most points in the history of the league for a player that finishes a game with a triple-double. Amazing. Mavs win at 126-121 in overtime. From our Delta MSG studios, Bill Pito along with Wally Szczerbiak. All you can say, I think, is wow. You got Jalen Brunson missing the game with a bad hip. You have R.J. Barrett suffering a laceration on his right index finger a minute and a half in, and he's done for the night. And yet the Knicks are up by 9, Wally, in the final 30 seconds of regulation, and they can't close it. And then in the OT, they run out of gas.
Yeah, and it's just, I mean, all they needed to do was get that stop and that rebound. McBride was 5 for 6 down the stretch in this game from the free throw line. A guy that was 5 for 9 going into the game on the season, knocked down some crucial free throws to help the Knicks kind of get a few points down the stretch. It was tough for them to get good possessions. They did have a couple turnovers down the stretch of the game, but you have to be locked in on the defensive end of the floor. When you're up 9 points with 33 seconds, all you got to do is one thing right. Get one stop, actually 2 things right. One stop and 1 rebound, and you're going to be able to ice that game away. And the Knicks constantly gave up threes. They gave up and ones and threes, and that's the one thing at that point in the game that they could not do. And the Dallas Mavericks, Luka Doncic, little Luka magic right there. I'll tell you, he whines a lot out there on the court, but he's really good, and he did everything to get this team, his team, that win.
Incredible number of impressive performances for the Knicks. You got McBride with a career-high 46 minutes, Quickly career-high with 14 assists, Quentin Grimes career-high 33 points, Julius Randle 29 points, a season-high 18 rebounds, and yet they could not box Doncic out. He got his own rebound off the missed free throw and made the shot to force overtime.
It was into Knicks' hands, and that's what happened. Grimes and McBride had it in their hands. They knocked it out of each other's hands. So the rebound was right there to be grabbed. That was the big 3, just in rhythm, up 9. Christian Wood hits that big triple, and then Grimes gets the ball. That was a quick whistle, too. I mean, tied up with Luka. Luka wins the jump ball, and then he gets the bucket and the foul. That's the thing. The foul is what kills you. The threes kill you. Again, how are you leaving up threes at this point? The only job of everyone is to guard the three-point line, not give up threes. Here, look, right in Grimes' hands, and McBride knocks it out of his hands. It goes right to Luka Doncic. He does the giddy. I don't know what he's thinking out there, but oh, what a heartbreaking loss. I mean, that was just such a brutal loss for this Knicks team, especially coming off the week that they've had with the type of losses that they've had this past week. I mean, there was so much on the line in this game. They played their hearts out. They played so valiantly. They played with so much courage. Nobody would have given them a shot without Brunson and then Barrett playing 2 minutes. But they just willed themselves to a 9-point lead down the stretch of games. But that's where the Knicks have to learn how to close. It doesn't matter who's out there in the game. You have to learn how to close NBA basketball games and become a winner. And the Knicks have a great young roster. They're playing a lot of young guys. Young guys don't know how to close games, and they have to figure it out very quickly.
Knicks missed a total of 8 free throws in the 4th quarter and overtime combined. That was a huge factor.
It was mostly in overtime, though.
Okay.
Mostly in overtime. They were pretty good in regulation. That game was had for them in regulation if they just would have gotten a stop and a rebound. That's where the game should have ended. Once it went to overtime, you could see their legs were done. You could see their energy was done. They didn't have any real plan without, like, Brunson out there to get good looks at the basket and good shots at the basket. And then the Dallas Mavericks have the MVP of the league, maybe.
He went for 60 points.
He went for 60.
And a career-high 21 rebounds.
Tough shots. I mean, he made his free throws, rebounds, assists. I mean, it seemed like the only basket, that's the only basket the Knicks, well, they had 2. The one at the end of the game by Emmanuel Quickly. But, I mean, this is where they just don't foul. I mean, they let time go off the clock. They're down 5 at this point. No, they're down 4 at this point. If you foul and get 1 miss, there's still a lot of time left. I mean, we saw the Dallas Mavericks come back in 30 seconds down 9, and the Knicks were only down 4 at that point. So I just think the Knicks, awesome effort, incredible effort. It's just really tough to swallow. I mean, this is a big boy league. It really is. And, you know, if you don't take the win and just ice it away and seal it away, other teams will smell the opportunity to steal it from you, especially on their home floor. And that's exactly what the Knicks let the Dallas Mavericks do.
So the Knicks had won 8 in a row. They've now lost 4 in a row. Their road winning streak is over at 6 wins in a row. And we saw a masterpiece. I mean, Luka Doncic, career-high 60 points, career-high 21 rebounds, 10 assists. And the thing about him is he's not that quick, right, Wally? But he is so amazingly skilled at getting his shot off. He always gets his shot off.
First 60, 20, 10 triple-double in NBA history, Bill. So we just witnessed history, and that's useful stats right there. But it's because of his handle, Bill. That's the reason.
What about his height, his size?
Height makes a difference. His handle is what allows him to just keep defenders off balance and just juke them right and left and get wherever he wants on the court. I mean, he has that ball on an absolute string. They play small, so he's playing the floor at times, and he has to help out on the boards. That's how he gets all those rebounds. That ball was in Grimes' hand. Game over. In his hand. Just squeeze the ball, and it's over. And then you give Doncic life, and then he goes into his Dirk Nowitzki step-back move there. I mean, Julius Randle did a great job, I think, on him defensively. I thought Grimes did a great job on him defensively. He's just that good. You cannot stop him one-on-one. I mean, he's such a good one-on-one player, the way he can get to the basket and finish and the way he can shoot those threes. And then some of the passes that he makes, like it looks like he gets to a spot where he's got an easy 5-foot little floater or layup, and then he just jukes the defense, kicks it out to a wide-open three in the corners. And they didn't shoot very well from the three-point line at all in today's game. They were 28% from three.
13 of 46.
13 of 46. Yeah. So the Knicks got lucky in that respect, but he will will his team to wins, getting 60, and that's exactly what happened tonight.
So Dallas goes 13 of 46 from three. Remember, here in New York on December the 3rd, they went 24 of 61. They could not hit a three tonight, and yet because of Doncic, they were able to pull this game out. And lost because of how this ended is the amazing performance tonight from Quentin Grimes. Best night as a pro, 33 points.
Yeah, and that's what NBA pros do. They take the challenge when their number's called. When you're undermanned as a team, R.J. Barrett goes out with a lacerated finger. Jalen Brunson, sore hip, you know, has been grinding through game after game after game. Quentin Grimes said, this is my opportunity to show this coaching staff, this fan base, and my teammates what I'm capable of. I'm going to step up, have the game of my life. I mean, he was locked. He's 16 three-point attempts. I love the way he gets that quick release going. I mean, he just had so much confidence in himself to help win this game. And then he showed the total package, too. It wasn't just threes, which normally that's his role, a little bit of a 3-and-D guy. He was hitting the boards. He was getting to the basket. He was creating for Mitchell Robinson and all kinds of other guys. And boy, did Julius Randle trust him. I mean, the trust that we're seeing between Julius Randle and Quentin Grimes out there on the floor, that is a really good sign, because Randle's going to see a lot of double teams. Randle's been playing outstanding. He had another phenomenal game tonight, 29, 18, and 4. He needs other guys to open up the floor for him, knock down some shots, and he sees Grimes going. He's going to get him the ball, keep him hot, get him hot, and Grimes delivered with an unbelievable effort. It's just such a shame that it didn't end in a W.
Knicks dominated in terms of second chance points, 27-11, and we got to mention Mitchell Robinson. He was fantastic.
Yep.
20 points and 16 rebounds. All right, we'll hear from Knicks coach Tom Thibodeau. His team is now 18-17 after this heartbreaking loss to begin a 3-game trip through the state of Texas. We'll hear from the coach and break things down from the Wally Wall when we come back after this.
The Knicks postgame show is presented by Audi. Visit your tri-state area Audi dealer today.
All right, so the Knicks are at the Spurs Thursday, pregame at 7:30, game at 8. You can also stream our coverage on MSG Go. Knicks lose a 9-point lead in the final 33 seconds of regulation and lose by 5 in OT to Dallas. Tom Thibodeau's postgame comments presented by Chase.
Coach, you often talk about next man up. Lose Jalen, no RJ. You got an unbelievable effort from the guys. How tough is this one to swallow, given you had the 9-point lead with 30 seconds left?
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. So it's a shame not to come out of here with a win. So 29 seconds to go. their shots, offensive rebounds, fouls. So, yeah, disappointing.
Was it just in those last 30 seconds, was it?
Well, we gave up and ones. We gave up uncontested shots. We missed some free throws. So it was a compilation of things. But you give a team a second crack at things, and then you foul, give and ones up. Doesn't make sense.
Doncic said the 60-20-10 never been done before in history.
Yeah, he's a monster player. You know, I'm concerned about, you know, there's some plays that he's making good plays and he's aggressive. But, you know, we can't keep fouling a guy giving 22 free throws up. So we can't. We talk about verticality and restricted all the time, and we keep whacking down. So until we fix that, that's going to cost us.
What happened to RJ?
Lacerated finger.
Did he get stitches?
I'm not sure.
With the guy, what happened in overtime? I mean, these are heavy minutes for some guys that aren't used to that. Was it tired?
Yeah, you know, both teams, you know, when you get to overtime, there's going to be heavy minutes. That's the reality of it. And then, you know, you're matched up with who they have on the floor as well. So, you know, we got to make plays, but we shouldn't have been in that position.
After RJ went out, you went with 8 guys the rest of the game. Any thought to, you know, giving some minutes to guys who haven't played much?
I was more concerned with how we were matching up with them, you know. So, you know, we try to match up a certain way, and I thought we were playing well. You know, we didn't close out the last 30 seconds of the game.
Guys like Evan and Cam, who don't play at all in this type of game. I mean, does it send the signal that they're not going to play well?
No.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Yep.
All right, I mean, his mantra, now in his third year, is always on to the next.
Yeah.
How hard is it going to be to move on to the next after that?
It's, I got to be honest, that's what I love about the NBA. Games keep coming. You have to learn as a player to just forget about it. I mean, it's been a brutal stretch for the Knicks in the last week and a half. They're still 18-17. They're over 500. You got to just forget about it and move on to a Spurs team that's really struggling this year. They're one of the worst teams in the NBA. And you got to focus on that game and try to play with this type of effort and at this type of level and close the game and get the win. That's the bottom line. The games keep coming. If you let a game like this affect you, you're done. You cannot exist in this league, and you can't be a good team. You have to have a short memory. You have to just let it go and move on to getting this win against the Spurs.
All right, we'll see about R.J. Barrett. A minute and a half in, it's hard to figure out what happened here. The Knicks say it's a lacerated right index finger. A minute and a half in, Wally, right there, and that was the end of his night.
Yeah,
no report on how long he might be out.
Yeah, Luka Doncic must have some nails, first of all, because it looks like he poked the ball away and must have caught him with his nail. And, you know, fingers are tough spots. You know, obviously, I think it's a little bit better sign that it's not a break. But when you get a nasty gash on your finger, you need to dribble the ball, and you're going to get stitched up. Depending on how it is, it's tough to function as an NBA player when you need your hands, especially both hands, even though RJ is a left-hander. So hopefully it's not too bad, and hopefully RJ is not out too long. But that's just a very fluke-type injury, and it's very unfortunate because the Knicks can really use RJ moving forward.
All right, so no Brunson and a very limited night in terms of playing time from R.J. Barrett. So you got quickly playing over 50 minutes, and Quentin Grimes with a career-high 33. We have a play to break down for you. Quickly, one of his career-high 14 assists, setting Grimes up for one of his 7 threes.
Yeah, I thought Emmanuel quickly really stepped up and played the point guard role tremendously. He did a great job of, you know, orchestrating the offense and making a lot of good things happen. Now, freeze it there. Here's quickly driving to the basket, doing a great job of attracting all this defense, and it was a nice play between him and Hartenstein where he went backdoor, and that leaves Quentin Grimes opened for one of his 7 threes. This is what Emmanuel Quickley was doing all night long. He was living in the paint, doing a great job of getting into the paint, and he kicks it out here to Grimes, who knocks down one of those big threes. What a complete game for Quentin Grimes. What great chemistry, too, between Emmanuel Quickley and Quentin Grimes to come out and play with this type of effort and, honestly, just a winning mentality. I mean, to put yourself in a position to win that game without 2 of your big-time guys, in Brunson and Barrett, that's a lot of credit to those 2 young players. Now they have to learn from this, know that they can accomplish this, and next time they're in this position, act like you've been there before and close the game. That's the next step for Grimes and Quickley.
Want to clarify quickly, they've added another assist, so 15 assists for Quickley is the final total. We've seen a lot of Grimes being really effective when he drives to the basket, setting up a teammate, and that's what he does on this sequence with Mitchell Robinson.
He's been outstanding, and we didn't see a lot of this in his first 2 years in the NBA, but his explosiveness to the basket, and now the teams are running him off the three-point line, has been outstanding. Now, freeze it there. Doncic just gives him the old Olay, so he gets into the lane and engages Reggie Bullock here, and here you see Mitchell Robinson saying, throw it up to me, do something, but this team went small, and when they went small, they have Reggie Bullock at the 4-5 kind of, Doncic 3-4. Christian Wood is like a skinny-ish type 5-man. Mitchell Robinson can dominate on the interior, and he's going to be tough to stop. And Quentin Grimes does a great job of the no-look pass. Thought that it was a foul. I mean, Tim Hardaway Jr. is trying to crack down on Mitchell Robinson. That's not going to work. That's what happens when you go small. You're going to have to pay for plays like that. And Mitchell Robinson did a great job of making the Dallas Mavericks pay when they went small, because if he doesn't play like that with that type of effort on the boards and blocking shots, he's not going to be able to stay out on the floor, because he's not going to be able to, a lot of times, get out the three-point shooters. But today he was absolutely flawless in doing everything he needed to do to stay out there on the floor against a team that went small and make a big impact.
We even saw some post moves from Mitchell Robinson doing some things in the low
The first couple of the game, he said, all right, you guys are going to start a small lineup. Forget it. I'm going to go right at you.
All right. Up next, we have the MSG 150 highlights from around the league, including the Celtics in action after they beat the Bucks on Christmas Day, trying to keep it rolling tonight. Highlights of the Celtics and more coming up. All right, Knicks are at San Antonio Thursday. Pregame at 7:30, game at 8. You can also stream our coverage on MSG Go. Back now from the Corner 3, presented by Michelob Ultra. A reminder to enjoy every bucket. And Julius Randle, we talked in the pregame show about how incredible his play has been in the month of December, and it was great again tonight. 29 points, a season-high 18 rebounds.
Yeah, I was so impressed with his leadership out there, the way he galvanized a very undermanned team and had his team in position to win this basketball game. The rebounds are a sign of just impeccable effort. I mean, the effort that he was given on both ends of the floor. Also defensively, he was asked to guard Luka Doncic a little bit. But he is just a consummate playmaker, and he loves playing at home in front of his family there in Dallas. Got the team off to a great start shooting the basketball, and then really trusted the young guys. I mean, he's the oldest guy on this roster at 28, well, excuse me, Derrick Rose is and Fournier. But he's the oldest guy really playing in the rotation at 28 years old. So he needs to take these young guys under his wing, and he absolutely did that tonight. I thought it was a phenomenal performance by Julius Randle. I mean, he just showed absolutely everything, and you know, at some point down the stretch of the game, you just got to get a stop or a rebound. And this was another great night for Mitchell Robinson, who was absolutely outstanding.
Tallest player on the court all night.
Yeah, and he showed it. And it seemed like in the fourth quarter, the best Knicks offense was throw it up there at the rim and Mitchell Robinson go get it, because he could get every loose ball. I mean, he was relentless attacking the offensive boards, and that's why the Knicks had a chance to win this game in the fourth quarter and had that 9-point lead in the fourth quarter, because he was just cleaning up the boards. He was dominating the offensive glass and finishing around the rim and really making the Mavericks pay for going small. It's just heartbreaking that the Knicks couldn't close this one out, because there were a lot of monumental career-like performances for these Knicks guys, and to not come away with a win, that really hurts.
Go back to the Toronto game, had a 1-point lead late. Chicago, heartbreaking lead at the heartbreaking loss at the buzzer.
Yep.
Philly, they have the lead on Christmas Day until the fourth quarter, and now this. I mean, that's 4 straight devastating losses.
It happens. It happens in this league, and you just got to forget about it. You got to move on. You got to take the next game and try to get that game, try to right the ship. And the Knicks have been pretty good in close games. When Jalen Brunson's out there, they squeaked a few out. It's very uncharacteristic to be missing this many free throws, I think, for this team. They have to correct that quick.
All right, Quentin Grimes, as we've talked about, career-high 33 points. A career high for him. We'll get his post-game reaction when we continue after this. Game 2 for the Knicks through the state of Texas, Thursday at the Spurs, 7:30 pregame game at 8. Tonight, they lose an OT. Heartbreaking loss to the Mavs, 126-121, even though Quentin Grimes went for a career-high 33. Here he is after the game.
How did you feel you defended Doncic? He winds up with 60, 20, and 10, and it looked like you're fighting like crazy.
Yeah, I know. That's what I promised I was trying for sure. I mean, I'm trying to get over every pick and roll. He's in almost every action, so it was a lot on me trying to get over every pick and roll with him. He's crafty with the ball, without the ball. I got to know where he's at all times on the court. But, yeah, I mean, he's one of the top 3 players in this league for a reason. He showed that tonight, so I got to tip my head off for sure.
Was it a matter just in overtime that you guys just ran out of gas? It was so deflating how the game finished?
Yeah, it kind of really just ran out of time. I mean, they kind of went up 3. If we had a little more time, maybe we could have came back. But, yeah, overtime's only 5 minutes, so we had to really execute down the stretch. We missed a couple of wide-open shots, quick missed open shot. Deuce, he got his shot blocked, so it was just little things like that. But I'm proud of everybody and the way we fought, so I feel like we got to build off and just keep competing every night, and then the tides are going to turn for sure.
A couple of games like this where you guys have let it slip away in the late, the late second minutes. How can you guys kind of rebound from that and learn from it?
Yeah, this is kind of like 3 out of the 4 games where we kind of lost on offensive rebounds, really. So we got to really just lock in, late game, box out, make sure they don't get offensive rebounds and hit dagger threes. And then we got to know where our man's at. They hit open threes late and box out. Offensive rebound just really a main key thing. So we got to just really lock in on in the fourth quarter. The intensity is different. Really got to lock in now. We're knowing that these games are going to cost even more, that we drop 3 kind of 4 in a row like that.
Grimes played 48 minutes, most of which he guarded Luka Doncic, and he still went for a career-high 33. Wrapping up the Tri-State Audi postgame show. Knicks next in action on Thursday at the Spurs. 7:30 pregame. Game comes your way at 8. You can also stream our coverage on MSG Go. Up next here on MSG, it's Rangers Rewind. The Rangers playing host to the Caps tonight. Knicks were up by 9 points with 33 seconds to go and end up losing to Dallas in overtime, 126-121. Luka Doncic with the miracle to force overtime. He went for 60, 21, and 10.